there. I'm Amy.Connell. Welcome to Graced Health, the podcast for women who want simple and grace-filled ways to take care of themselves and enjoy a little bit of chocolate in the process, which is the topic of today's conversation. But before I get to there, I want you to know I am a certified personal trainer and nutrition coach who wants you to know your eating, movement, and body don't have to be perfect. You just need to be able to do what you're called to do. This is an Ask the Trainer episode where I answer questions you may have about your eating, movement, or how they work together in 7-ish minutes or so. Okay, today's question came from a girlfriend of mine, and she said, okay, you say in every episode with a little bit of chocolate. She said, exactly what is a little bit of chocolate? And I thought, well, that is a really good question. I did an entire episode on why I have a little bit of chocolate, kind of in my tagline. I mean, my whole Graced Health tagline was balanced, healthy living with a little bit of chocolate. If you follow me on the socials, you will see me eating chocolate. I really like it. I'm just telling you, I really like it. But I think it's a fair question because that will vary for all of us. And what might be a little bit for me might be more than what you want to have, or vice versa. So what I want to do is go with some of the recommendations that are out there and actually quantify some of this. And then you can gauge that with what is right for you and appropriate for you. Now, the American Heart Association recommends that we have 6 teaspoons, no more than 6 teaspoons of added sugar a day. Okay. So they're not talking about chocolate. They're talking about like added sugar. So that means that if you have a real Coke, like a Coca-Cola, then that is about 8 teaspoons. So that's actually exceeding what they recommend. But just talking about added sugar, it is 6 teaspoons a day. Now, there are some recommendations out there or some guidances, I guess. I don't think the American Heart Association is recommending a certain amount of chocolate, but dark chocolate does have a lot of benefits, or does have some benefits for you. So I don't think that we need to go away from the chocolate. Chocolate is not terrible. We just don't want to consume too much. The general recommendation that I see out there on the interweb is about 1 to 2 ounces, which is 30 to 60 grams. Now, what does that mean? What is 1 or 2 ounces? So what I did was I went over to the dovechocolate.com because you know that I love Dove chocolate. And by the way, it's really fantastic with red wine too, if you like red wine. But they have something now that is 70% cacao, which is fantastic because it has less milk. It has the cacao is really where you get a lot of the benefits from chocolate. So 4 pieces of the 70% Dove dark chocolate is 32 grams. Now, this is different than the added sugar because it's obviously not all sugar. But for 30 grams in general, 30 grams is an ounce. So that is your 1 ounce. Recommendations to receive benefits from dark chocolate is 1 to 2 ounces. For 70% Dove chocolates is 1 ounce. Now, 1 ounce has about 9 grams of added sugars. So there we are. I want you to be aware of where that sugar is when we're talking about the sugar recommendations. So 9 grams of sugar is a little bit more than 2 teaspoons. It's 4 grams is 1 teaspoon. So that's about 2 teaspoons of your recommended 6, no more than 6 teaspoons a day. I'm hoping this math adds up to you. It adds up. It all makes sense in my head. So I'm hoping that it makes sense to you. So what is a little bit of dark chocolate or a little bit of chocolate? I would say between 4 and 6 pieces because you don't want to have so much that you are exceeding your added sugar a day. And remember, this is added sugar. This is not like sugar from fruit, sugar from in the milk, like lactose in milk and that kind of stuff. This is just added white stuff, refined, that kind of thing. So I hope that makes sense. If you want to play it safe, I would recommend looking at whatever source of chocolate you have. The darker, the better. Try and stay away from the milk because that's going to have more fat and less of the antioxidants and benefits that you get from dark chocolate. And look at the label. That's part of, I don't want to ever come and say, this is what you have to do, but figure out what seems right for you. And if you don't know where to start, go grab a bag of Dove dark chocolate and maybe parcel out 6. And that's your daily allotment, which is kind of a lot. I mean, I have to admit, I'm not sure. Sometimes I have 6. I don't think I have 6 very often with that. Anyway, parcel that out, or maybe start with 4 and say, okay, this is what I'm going to have today. And then that's what it is. I feel like that's the best way for me to stay in control of how much I'm eating rather than having one piece and then a couple hours later, having another piece and then a little bit later, having another piece, because I can get caught into that really easily. So figure out the right amount for you, play around with it, but do enjoy a little bit of chocolate. The more cacao, the better. 70% I like. That's my favorite. What's yours? I'd love to know. Go over to the Graced Health community over on Facebook and let me know your favorite chocolate to ingest. Okay, that is all for today. Go out there and have a graced day.